The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. And, of course, one more do we go into the breach, dear friends.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And we're on time. Yep. What is S&B? Who is S&B? What is S&B? That's what I can't figure out. Somebody posting something in the den. Just trying to figure out who they're talking about. I must have missed part of the conversation. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we're off 10 points on the S&P cash. What we don't have is light volume. We're already pushing 2.2 billion shares into the day. And we'll take a look at some of the charts that we're using. But surprises tend to happen in the direction of the advance and decline line that has been lower for a while. But I think we're looking at a market that if this is a sell-off, and that's the way I am positioned, that you could see this continue all the way into Thanksgiving. Now, I could be wrong again. I'm wrong very often. But all my positions are basically right now that I will make a great deal if the market goes down. And I will lose a tiny bit if it does not. That is asymmetrical trading. It allows me to be wrong a lot and still make a lot of money. Somebody was emailing me on Friday, and I basically bring up Nassim Taleb many times, and a lot of people will tell me something about options, and I'll basically, on options, they've heard once that 90% of them go unexpired, and they think that is some kind of miracle, and you should run from it. Same thing with trading leverage 3 times X products. And the idea is that you want to be a hitter that hits 900 in the National Baseball League. Well, nobody hits 900. They hit at best maybe a little under 400, and most of them bat under 300. So how could any of these guys being successful less than 1/3 of the time actually ever do well? Well, if the best that they could get was a hit, that would be, probably wouldn't be too good. But if you can hit home run every 3 times up to the plate, 4 times up to the plate, you're going to make about $45–50 million a year. I don't think anybody's doing that now. But there's an asymmetrical payback. And I think that I'd say that 95% of all traders miss it. There is, for some traders, kind of the idea that they are working for an hourly wage. And to go into work, they have to be thinking that they've had a lot of successful trades, even if those trades didn't return all that much money. It feels good to always be on the side that's making a little money. Especially, it feels real bad to be on the side losing a little bit of money, except when you make a god-awful amount of money. I was very much fooled by randomness by Nassim Taleb. The reason why? He kept on telling everybody what they didn't want to hear. And that was that by betting on the what they call fat tails in options, he could clean the market out. He basically destroyed the market in 1987. By the mid 90s, he had $3.8 billion. And every time the market throws up, he's there to collect absolutely massively on out of the money puts and calls. And he continues to do that to this day. And guess what? 90% of his puts and calls go unexpired. But when they do get into the money, he makes somewhere around 40 to 50 times on his money. He buys way even farther out than I ever buy puts and calls. But there's an old saying that bears make money and bulls make money and pigs get slaughtered. When everybody tells you you can't make money, I found out that a lot of times people have found ways to make money in the stock market that seem almost bizarre. But it's time to pause and reflect when someone tells you there's only one true way to make money. I know a lot of people that trade very differently than me, and they make money. The one single path to making money in the market does not exist. So just be a little open to other ways and other thoughts. But today we're down. We've got 2.2 billion shares already in the hopper. We're off 8 points. Now, is this where the market breaks? I don't know. When it does, I'll be there. Just like I was many times over the last few years, and I'll make half, three-fourths of my money every year on a handful of trades. The other way is doing a lot of shoveling every day. So think differently. Maybe that's a good way to say it. As always, we like to start the show off with a little history.
Well, it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1961, the biggest explosion ever made by humans was done on a small island in the Arctic Circle. This was done by the USSR to show off that they can make really, really large weapons. They had to specially modify a plane to do so, and we'll talk a little bit about this. It was a 50 megaton bomb. The largest one that we ever blew up was 15 megatons. The top of the clouds for a 15 megaton bomb was about 110,000 feet. This 50 megaton bomb rose to 230,000 feet, basically at the very edge of space. Nothing was left standing 15 miles in every single direction. Everything was vaporized down to the grass. Nothing else existed. At 64 miles, you would have had third-degree burns all over your body. At 600 miles, you would see the top of the mushroom cloud, as they did in many of the Scandinavian countries. The plane that dropped it was heavily damaged, never flew again. The pilots that flew it had cancer. Shockwaves circled the globe 3 times in the Earth's crust. It was 3,333 times the size of the Hiroshima bomb. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Anyway, finishing up a little bit of history out here, the biggest bomb that ever blew up on this day in 1961. The interesting thing to me was that there were somewhere over 400 nuclear tests above ground in the years from 1945 to 1961. In one day, the amount of radiation in the atmosphere doubled from all those tests before. The pilots ended up dying not too long after from radiation. They actually put the bomb on a parachute to try to slow it down. They had 45 seconds or a minute and a half to get away, something like that. It wasn't even close. Probably not practical, and it could have been 100 megatons. Scientists believe that if they would have blown up that 100 megatons, that it would have actually blew out an amazing amount of our atmosphere right on out, like a rupture in an intestine, that it got to 225,000 feet for the top of the mushroom cloud, means that it was almost at escape velocity when it got there. It scared everybody so much that the gentleman that built it decided to no longer build bombs for the Soviet Union and come out, eventually won the Nobel Peace Prize for trying to get everybody to quit making more and more bombs. But this was kind of the day that scared literally everybody. They almost thought that it was possible to catch the atmosphere on fire and have it continue to burn around the globe and kill us all. It still may be possible, but now most of the weapons tend to be 5 megatons or less. Everybody was worried that actually this would be the bomb that would not only kill your adversaries, it would kill you yourself, and kind of started at least making sure that all weapons from then on, 1963 and later, were all blown up underground so they wouldn't spew more radiation out in the world. That's about it. We've got a market that, depending on where you sit, what's happening is based on politics and or on a market that was already stretched. Since you can't separate the two, and it's kind of a fool's errand, we will sit here and watch, but we're bouncing around 8 or 9. My guess is that we continue to sell off. My bet is that we continue to sell off into Thanksgiving. We've had a market that's been stretched for 2 or 3 weeks. It's actually stretched on a PE basis and other basis, and just including price and volume, all the way back to the beginning of 2000 in the dot-com craze. And we've seen kind of the same action. We were talking with Tom O'Brien about that on Friday, that you're seeing these stocks that just go wild. We had like one during, was it this summer? I think it was earlier, maybe it's been 6 months ago. But I remember it was Dry's. Went from $4 to $96, back to $4 or even $2. DRYS if you want to look at it. A handful of these stocks, when they start acting like that, you really need to perk up and understand that you are in a market that both can run away and fall in a matter of days and weeks. And of course, when the market comes down, as I like to say, it jumps off the top of the building. It takes the stairs up. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Everybody's got a comment in the den today. Anyway, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. We'll look at some of the stuff that's going on here, but pretty interesting. And as I've always thought of politics, or at least Washington, D.C., always reminded me of that movie that, what was it, 1992? I want to say it's 1992. Won the Academy Award, I think, for the best movie that year. That's The Unforgiven, where literally everybody is despicable. Everybody is just a horrible human being, and that kind of probably tells you everything you need to know about politics in Washington, D.C. Nobody seems to be unscathed by the swamp. Okay, so let's start taking a look at what's going on out here today. And there's a few things I wanted to get to. First of all, let's take a look at some stocks like FireEye. I want to see what these things are doing. One of the reasons I thought that these would eventually take off and be huge would be that the CEOs of companies would finally be responsible for major losses. Making its way through Congress, and probably will get signed in the next few days, is a part of a bill, and that bill means that corporations will not be responsible for being hacked. This is up a little bit today. They may spend some more money on it. My theory has always been these things are, at present, what, $16 stocks, or $200 stocks, if anybody's ever required to be responsible for hacks. Most of these guys turn the other way and just pretend like it's not happening. They really don't understand it. They're CEOs. They understand how to run their company. They don't understand how to take care of the responsibility of people's data. And as long as they don't have to, it will be no different than the convenience stores who would no longer find insurance unless they had CCTV cameras installed. That happened in the 90s, and you went to 1/10 of the convenience stores having some form of electronic video security to 99% of them having video security today. And I think we're going to see these companies take off. I don't know how long this bill goes through. Does it get signed? Everything else. It's kind of murky. The reporting on this is pretty wrong. But it does look like, at least for the foreseeable future, there will not be an economic advantage to spending lots of money in this sector. Again, this is up. It's on kind of light volume. It's kind of an underreported story, so you may want to think about that one for a while. CYBR. Yeah, AMD did poorly, but I kind of thought that, you know, that this may at least put a lid on Intel. It did not. Today you're down on kind of a light volume. Well, excuse me, talking about CyberArk right now. You're down on kind of light volume. $39.34 is the August 30 low. Probably look at it somewhere around there. Maybe it can bottom out. Maybe make a double bottom and find some level. Anyway, security companies had an opportunity here to maybe really run, but you can be forced into arbitration now when your data is stolen. So maybe these have a while longer.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Mentioned in the den of AMD, it is down. Certainly not acting like NVIDIA. A lot of people ask me about this stock. I thought it had been overpriced for a while. Of course, just a scant year or so ago, it was a $2 stock. Everybody believed that they were going to come up and crush Intel. It was much farther from the truth. Probably 50% of the pop was from their video card business. Again, they pretty much have gotten trounced, and even lately, aggressive pricing from NVIDIA has put a lot more pressure on AMD. As a whole, I read some articles over the last week. This is becoming more and more a winner-take-all market. That is, you don't have a chance of competing against Google. You don't have a chance of competing against Facebook. You don't have a chance of really competing against Microsoft. You know, it's not uncommon to see these, but generally in the past in the U.S., we've seen antitrust legislation to break these things apart. It always takes a while. I guess this will not be any different when we look at these, but it is kind of interesting to see the winner take all to the exclusion of all else in the last few days. Of course, we've got really the kind of a hurry up and wait attitude is Wednesday. We have the FOMC, more earnings on Thursday. Apparently, everybody is saying that we're going to get a new FOMC chief come Thursday, and then, of course, we have economic numbers on Friday. So really loaded to the back half of this week. We've got a little time off, but my thoughts are that from a number of stocks, we're getting some candles probably today that are going to look a little bit bearish. So we'll take a look at some of those. Facebook, a nice little doji out here today. Watch for a pullback on that one. We were looking for some other ones like Microsoft. Let's take a quick look at that one. Certainly you had the pop on Friday. Today, kind of going sideways without a lot of juice. More than anything, it's Apple. Apple has done a fairly good job of managing expectations, but if anybody's listened for this show very often or for very long, they'll remember my stories of the mid-'80s and going to the Moscone Center in San Francisco. I had a non-computer friend of mine hanging around with me who happened to be a manager in a banquet facility. So while we're standing around, he goes and talks to the banquet people there. I don't know if he was thinking about getting a job, but found out that they'd actually hired all 3 rooms for the day, one that held 500, one that held 700, and one that held 1,000 people. And they figured out how many people were waiting and then pushed them into the room where at least a couple hundred people would have to stand outside. Apple is incredibly good at always, they're almost like politicians. They're always trying to put a spin on everything. They can't just leave the way things are. And of course, now they basically said we sold out, in a matter of minutes, so there's massive demand. My thoughts are that that demand didn't change on Friday. They told a lot of people to bring down for the first 3 months the amount of parts they needed. Now, supposedly, in the quiet time before earnings announcements, they actually need a whole bunch of parts. Well, I don't know if I believe the first part, and I don't believe today the actual this actually hitting the market tomorrow is nothing short of the PR that they always spin in the market. But you're back up to the previous highs. You've got some fairly decent volumes. I think a lot of people got short this market. But what I will show you is that the energy back up off this September 25th low, at least for my power law vector indicator number, is not all that impressive. You're basically up on an 8 when you were down on a 10. Now, you've got some fairly decent volume. The question was, and is in the next day or so, do you close below the 164.95 low or high of September 1st? And maybe they caught a lot of people sleeping that were short this thing. I know a lot of people wanted to short it. As I've said before, if you want to short something around Apple, you want to be in the suppliers. Let's take a quick look at those. SWKS. Now this one's back up to its previous highs. You need 3 million shares to hit the June 9th high at 112.11. You basically speared that today. Not going to hold that, at least looks like in the last hour or two. But you might get that 3 million shares, so you might tie the previous high with Skyworks Solutions. So what else is out there? Skyworks Solutions, what's the other one? I'm just having a mental blank today. Avago. AVGO. We'll take a quick tour of that one. Now this one's up. It's got 3.66 million shares. Now this one you needed 10 million shares, so it's the weaker of the two. If this thing does close back below 256.78 in the next few days, keep an eye on this one. Again, the Apple people are fairly easy, and the sycophantic press for Apple, pretty huge. But in the next couple of days, if you see this thing close back below that 256.78, not a prediction, but a warning, watch out, because I suspect that this could see a lot of reversals right back down to the previous lows. That would be the September 25th low of 231.53. I've talked to a lot of people, not that many people really pushing for a Apple X phone. And supply is going to be limited. That means that they may have and may whiff for an entire quarter. Question is, how many investors are going to look past that for sales over the next year? This is not a company that looks like it's going to go bankrupt, either Avago or Apple or Skyworks Solutions. So I like other stocks much better. They can have a much bigger problems. But you know what? These things are so heavily weighted that you want to keep an eye on it. Question in the den, do I understand quantum secured blockchain technical financial transactions? Yes. I don't understand what the question is other than, yes, I understand the idea. The idea would be not that if anybody tried to mess with them, that it would be apparent. It's kind of a tamper-resistant lock. Quantum secured. If you, any time, well, we've got to go to the break here, but we'll talk about this when we go back, but all quantum states that are entangled, if you touch one, you change the other. So there's literally no way to get past the lock without someone else knowing. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. 9190. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Off 75 on the Dow, off 8.4 on the S&P. We've got fairly strong volume, 2.4 billion shares already today. So there is a fairly decent amount of selling coming in here. Question in the den, I'm putting on my tech hat, and the question is, I don't understand quantum secured blockchain technology. And I'll separate the two. Blockchain, of course, the idea of having a distributed account book. That's kind of like saying that instead of just one accountant, you've got, multiple accountants, and they're spread all over the United States, and they don't know each other. And when they send all their books in at the end of the month, if they don't all jive, then they send them back and say, do it again until they're right. So that's blockchain. It's just a bunch of different people all agreeing on what the account books say. The ability to actually, that works great when you've got lots of different people involved. But when you only have two people involved, a sender and receiver, and you don't want to publicly splay your data all over the world, you need some way of saying that we can do this, and I know that the data is correct and has not been changed over time. You can use some of the weird things that happen in quantum mechanics. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. But if you have two entangled particles, they can be any particle out of an atom. But most of the time, we're talking about electrons. If you actually try to figure out whether the electron is spinning upwards or downwards, I'll simplify this as it's either spinning, up or down, like north or south. That's not exactly true, but it's a meaningful way to think of it. If you look at it, it will flip the other way. So if I send something to you and I tell you that there's a handful of these electrons and one's up and one's down, one's up and one down, once you look at it, it's going to flip them all the other way. Once you observe them, it changes them. And so this is kind of like a wax seal, 500 years ago with the king's signet ring in it, and you put it in the wax. If you open the thing up, you didn't have there wasn't a lot of high technology to duplicate the king's ring, although you probably could have done it. But this is kind of the equivalent of that, but with 100% certainty that whatever you signed with this could not have been changed. On the quantum level, it will flip. Now, a lot of people say this is pretty nutty kind of stuff, and it's not useful, and you really can't use this in reality. And the Chinese have proved us that it does work. They already have satellites that connect with all of their not missions. What are they? Where they have all their diplomats. I'm trying to think of the word. Not missions. What are they? Yeah, I'll think of it in a minute. Not missions, but they're embassies. And that's how they hand over the keys for all their encryption. It's already being used this way, so if anybody ever tried to intercept it, it would already been flipped and it wouldn't work. So this stuff's already being used. It's being used to send information and works on a daily basis today already with the Chinese. My guess is we probably have something similar. It just does not leak to the general public, but who knows? That's certainly one of the highest held secrets, I would suspect, in our government now. But just imagine having two balls, and if you touched one ball, it doesn't matter whether that ball or where the other one is. Could be on the other side of the galaxy. You touch one ball, the other one ball moves, and that's basically it. You can't touch one without the other one seeing a reaction. So that's kind of it. Okay. So let's go back and do that. It is a real thing, and it does work, apparently, because we can't read the Chinese's stuff for at least as far as we can tell. Maybe someone's great scientist has come up, but one of the tenets is that you could not do that. But we'll see. There may be some ways to find out what happens before this is applied. There may be some other ways. It's like a house. You may be able to pick the front door, maybe you don't. But if you can't pick the front door, maybe you go through the window. But at least the front door we know can be locked with this, and there's no way to get into that door without someone else already knowing that someone's reading and has looked at what you've done. GameStop. We've talked about this company for a while since it was up in the 40s. I think we shorted it. I think I made some money one time, lost a tiny bit the other time. This was one of these companies that you just know is going out of business. I call them the walking dead stocks. This came down on huge volume back on the 25th of August, did so with 20.5 million shares. It's been another one of these that's perpetually short. It's trying to find some level. It's probably going to do well through Christmas. My belief, though, is that this does not make it through to next Christmas. My guess is that this one will find a tipping point, and that tipping point will take this stock all the way to zero and probably next year. I play a few games. I'm not a big gamer. I play a few. I like to play them for about 15 minutes and then quit. I'm not one of these guys that spends a lot of time on weekends going to game parties, although a lot of people do, especially younger people do. I get bored after about 15 minutes. But almost all those folks now buy digitally and just download it. They never go to stores. They buy it from Steam, which is the company that acts as the back end for most of these cooperative games. Steam is not a public company to my knowledge, but that company pretty much puts GameStop out. And if you wanted to think of it this way, it's kind of the Amazon of gaming, and GameStop doesn't have a chance. They snowball in proverbial Hades, so keep on it. So quantum encryption is going to become more and more relevant. Quantum computers are not just a buzzword. Graphene CPU will come down one day. I don't know why that has anything to do with it. The remote viewers thing I think has been debunked as not true. I'm pretty sure that there's enough data out there that shows that a lot of that was made up. Yes, I think there are a lot of them. Yeah, I don't believe any of that. Okay, anyway, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. We've diverged from the normal action, but I think you got the 10 of it. I think if we break here, get a couple more days down, we can sell all the way through Thanksgiving. We'll be back in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Come join me next hour as we bisect and dissect these markets. Right here on TFNN. Wow!
Well, I wanted to see if Netflix was getting any kind of problems. One of their bigger stars out there has been Weinstein today. Is it too early to give that an actual... turn it into a verb, Weinstein. Anyway, it's up on fairly light volume today. Question in email whether or not I think this will actually affect this thing long term. And they've got so many shows that they can drop House of Cards, and I don't think it makes a big deal. I quit watching it a couple of seasons ago. So to me, it kind of ran out of juice a while ago. So is it bad they spent? This was one of the things where they're spending the most amount of money on. So if this thing goes away, probably actually pretty good that they'll be able to replace this with 2 or 3 or 4 other shows instead of just one as the tent pole. Of course, over the weekend, theater results were absolutely horrifically bad. A couple more bombs in the theaters. So, you know what? I think it's probably just a push for Netflix out here that if theaters started to have some movies that people started to watch, maybe it matters. Maybe if there was a big competitor ready to pounce, other than Amazon right now, I think it would make a difference. You know, maybe a few more that could water down Netflix. But, you know, it probably just a bigger problem with their reputation, but not CMG problem with the reputation, not a Chipotle issue. So you have to look at this. Energy wasn't all that exciting off this October 23rd low. You kind of back up here to the gap already. I've always thought this thing could get back into the high 160s and still not break a upward path in it. But no, I don't think this is. I think this is probably a couple of day news story. Be 3 or 4 guys that get Weinsteined in the time. So not much happening. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.